Hello, this is a short video about needs assessment, which is chapter 3. It's also the third week of classes. I'm not going to cover everything on the PowerPoint, but I do want to make certain points. Definitely, this slide reviews everything in terms of, um, you know, the evaluation model, even in the needs assessment too, right? So what is the program? What does the program uh, propose to accomplish? What are the goals and objectives? What are the strategies and activities? So just remember that when I'm referring to program, it's, for instance, an agency. Now, another option is to do a community needs assessment, which obviously it's done on the community. And I will show you where to learn more through another video. So next step is basically define, uh, what it is, what it's supposed to be doing, what its goals and objectives, and how they or you are trying to accomplish those, to get to those outcomes. So, first step, define. Now, you need a logic, to sort of figure out. We'll talk about a logic, um, the logic um, of a program later on. Probably not in this chapter, but that means that you have some short-term, some immediate, some long-term goals that you need to figure out. And also, when you do you see how the step one is defined, and it's between the program and the logic. Well, first of all, you need to kind of know what you're starting with, how many staff you have, how many computers, your input, right? The second step is the plan. And if you see, a plan needs a design. Now, you can have an actual design that is the one that you are, uh, using, on a day to day, and you can obviously evaluate that. But to do that, well, you need to describe it, right? What etc. And then how are you gonna measure those day-to-day activities? Then implement. That's after you design your research design, you need to go ahead and do it and collect data and so on. And then after that, step 4 is interpret, which is analyze. What does the result tell you? Did you accomplish what you wanted to do? As you see, there's a step A, which is inform. I'll go to that. So, and if you see, it completes or starts over this cycle, because the information, what you learn, is fed back to, the program. And if you notice that, well, either, I don't know, we needed more staff, or the our client stated that we need to have after hours schedule, or provide childcare, something like that to improve anything, to inform and make it obviously better. Now, sometimes, you quite, I can argue that, refine is also, it could go that way because the results are not that great, but also, there's a lot of overlap really with between inform and refine. If you see, inform goes directly to the program, and refine goes directly to logic, because there might be things that if you see what in the circle for the program, you see it talks about, what are the program proposed to accomplish, what are the objectives and goals. So you can, maybe switch that because you figure out that you were biting more, well, your agency, for instance, than it can chew. So, you were trying to reach too much and didn't quite accomplish everything. But maybe you don't need to change any of the objective or goals. You just need to refine it. So, there you can argue that there's some overlap between the two, but that's the most important thing. And for the paper that we're doing at the end of, well, you'll be doing sections of it or through the semester, and they're basically following away this model here. You're gonna have to choose one, and like I said, I would prefer, and I don't know that actually. I hate to say that it's required, but I don't see any other way. It's supposed to be a real, program. Now, there may be there's some leeway in terms of, you're never going to conduct this evaluation, so you may have some freedom in terms of what method you're going to use, and maybe this design would never be used in your agency, but you want to write about it. I rather, and I may not at the end of the day, I may not know, but I encourage you to be as real as possible, because that's what you're gonna live in the real world after you're done with your MSW, and I'd rather you tackle a real problem than a hypothetical one. But it is what it is, and but like I said, we're gonna start with, like I said, an agency, real agency, or a community. You're gonna have to go to, you can't say, oh, I'm gonna do consultants. Well, consultants from who? You have to go to the actual program, or actually because of the COVID, you may have to, make a call, make a Zoom conference call, and we all have, meaning everybody connected to JSU has a free access to Zoom, and maybe I should show. No, actually not there. In your dashboard, I'm not gonna assume that everybody is getting this piece of information. So don't just click the X and discard it. So here are the is a PDF that you're downloading for how to download and activate Zoom. Instructions of accessing Zoom in Canvas. So technically there's two ways, and this is the website for Zoom if you need help. So it is as easy as this should be. You see here, Zoom, and you should get. Obviously, I don't have any one. For instance, let me remind you too that I'm having. Oops, that's because I'm using the student version, but I'm setting up weekly, office hours or virtual office hour every Wednesday at 6 p.m. This is where you can ask questions, um, you know, anything you want to, well, maybe not anything you want to talk about, but, related to the course. Wait, so let me get back to the PowerPoint. Um, no, I'm just gonna skip because this is not a, uh, um, I'm not gonna do a long video. Now, I would like you to watch this video, and there's a PDF which is kind of like a slideshow made into a PDF. It's of the same thing, hence a companion document. Now, some of you may not be able to, like me, hey, why is it not working? Well, because I'm on edit mode. So I need to go to the actual slideshow, and then when I see the actual, that finger pointing, then I can click on it. That's if you have any issues. It's required that you actually watch that video, and it will. It's not that long, and it also give you good ideas on how to do, a community needs assessment. Um, just gonna stroll along because I don't want to make this more than um, 20 minutes. This is the plan which I kind of went through before in the first, well, technically second slide with that model. If you can see, it's basically the same. And here are the, more details on each one. Remember, let me just say, talk about step 2 here. Identify the information needed for decision making. So, there's many. If you haven't heard the term stakeholders, right? Stakeholders, and the planning committee. It's anybody who's connected to the agency, and even you can well, obviously you can argue that even the clients are stakeholders because they're served by the agency. The community could be a stakeholder, but we would have to. We can't really interview the whole community, so it could be representative of that community, for instance. Here, just what's discussing every step. Now, you could use secondary data analysis. This is mostly to sort of set up a snapshot of the situation. You're doing a program that helps, single poor mothers to, find employment. I don't know, something like that. So you may want to, and that's in, for Jackson. So you may, or maybe a smaller section of Jackson, but you may want to go to the census and find the poverty statistics. How many single mothers are and their situation specifically, because you can figure out, their socioeconomic status and all of those from either the census or federalstats.gov, fedstats.gov. And there's other ways of finding data. There's also a lot of other national, and which when I say national, it also have, they may have the state level, even the city level information on a lot of things from, education to health issues, etc. Um, um, let's keep going. I'm not gonna necessarily go through. Not that it's not important, but again, I wanted to emphasize certain aspect um, of the of this chapter. And yes, you can use. Never mind. Yes, you can use surveys. You can use also interviews. You know, you can use you know data collection and data analysis. If you say, well, it's in needs assessment, like a pro evaluation. Well, needs assessment is one type of um, evaluation. Um, Now, it could be that um, um, you can argue that, and this may come up if you decide to do community. For instance, I think one of the assignments is to, go to do an interview, of the, like maybe the manager of the agency, etc. But what if you choose a community? Well, you have to choose like, I don't know, whoever you, I guess, yeah, you have to choose a community that has some sort of program or an office, so maybe it have to be an actual um, office that deals with community enhancement. Now, what there might be some leeway here, some freedom. It may be that um, this community organization, let's say you call it community organization, it's not planning on doing, I don't know, you know, some. Um, what I'm trying to say is that you can, as long as it's from a real community and you're interviewing and starting from a real point, and maybe your census data and interview with that stakeholder from the community development or some other agency, you can have the freedom of evaluating the impact of a hypothetical intervention. Now, even though that's possible, you probably um, may not want that because of the, yes, it's hypothetical, but that can bring other problems. I'm sorry. For instance, if you're dealing with an evaluation of an actual community program, that they're doing, you have the data right there. So, you can make your job easier and because, the data is there as opposed to, but, some people may find it easier the other way. I just don't want you to jump in on a hypothetical, you know, program. And I should say not, sorry, I shouldn't say that because I'm saying you should be doing using a real, in terms of the agency or the community, but I mean what you're evaluating. Um, uh, but it's up to you, and there's the whole semester to figure out. And instead of waiting to the last minute to complete your final paper, you're going to be doing sections of this project all along, and that will allow me to sort of keep an eye on you guys and your excellent, give you feedback, etc. Um, well, that's it. I said I was going to make it 20 minutes, and I went to about a little bit less than 21, so I did good. Okay, talk to you soon. Be safe.